I am your host, Blake Hardison, and man, do I have an exciting episode for you guys today. Today with me, I have a really good friend of mine who likes to keep me on my toes. He is one of the main reasons I actually started this project. Without him, I probably would have never pursued most of the things that I've actually pursued here lately. I have with me Steffan Clark.
Dude, that's awesome. What's up, peeps?
Man, welcome to the podcast.
Dude. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate the invite, man.
No problem, man.
I appreciate those words, bro. I really do.
I mean, I would say they're about right, though, wouldn't you?
I mean, I don't know.
I would.
Yeah.
You keep me pretty motivated to do stuff.
Dude, that's what's up.
Like, lately, I have been sending you videos of me striking at the gym with the heavy bag.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, those videos are tight, man.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's something that I have taken an interest here lately. It's just more cardio. I'm trying to cut right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a good way for me to get more cardio in. Because I fucking hate running.
Yeah, me too, dude.
I
was trying to think about when's the last time I went for a run, and I think it was probably sophomore year of college. So that's probably 2016.
Sophomore year of college? That was the last time you actually, like, ran?
Yeah.
That's a fucking long time away.
Yeah, bro. I don't think I've ever ran, like... Yeah.
Did we run track and cross country together in middle school? Did you run? No?
I didn't. No, I always wanted to, man. It's funny. I just did a post about OB. And...
I seen that.
Yeah, and... because he was a track coach. And I always wanted to run track. But I didn't think I had it, like, in me. You know what I mean? I didn't think I had the endurance, the willpower to just, like, run a lot. And whenever everybody would talk about track practice, they would be like, oh, I puked, or I was about to puke. It's, like, so hard and difficult. So I'd be like, dang, man, they're probably getting killed over there in track.
I'm not going to lie, bro. OB's practices were crazy.
Yeah, man.
I remember one time we was running, and I mean, I'm quick now, but I wasn't quick back then. But we were running a workout, and it was me and him, bro. We were racing. Snap. Yeah, dang. Bro. And I was on his heels. Hey. And he looked back at me after we were done. He was like, you had me running for real. Hey. I felt so just accomplished that day, bro. Because if you know OB, shout out Coach OB at Owensboro.
Yeah, great dude.
Great dude. Wonderful motivator, too. Mm-hmm. He would be wonderful on here, actually. I'm going to make a note of that. But if you know Coach OB.
David Goggins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. For sure.
Form or fashion.
He holds how many records?
You know, I was trying to think about that. I don't know. I want to say like 6.
He holds a lot of records, which is insane.
I remember it was more than I thought he did. I thought he only had like 1 or 2, but it was like more than what I thought.
Does he still have the record for benching your body weight the most reps in a minute?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the records that he held, at least.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
That's fucking crazy.
And if you were going to smart off the OB, he was cool with it, but you had to be on your stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he was quick with the one-liners.
Hey.
Like, he would roast you in a minute. Track practice used to be lit, bro.
That's what I heard.
After you get done throwing up, like, it was lit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard, man. Everybody had a good time. Everybody said it was, like, crazy, though. And, I was just too scared for the most part. That's really what it came down to. I did play a lot of soccer, so it was like soccer all year. So I played rec, or I played for the school, or then I played for travel team a little bit. Only did that for like a couple years, maybe just 1 year.
Okay.
But yeah, running. Yeah, no, dude. Yeah,
man. So this week alone, I have started wearing a hoodie while I'm working out and doing my cardio because, like I said, I'm trying to cut. And I incorporated doing 4 30-second rounds with the heavy bag every day.
Tight.
Yep. And it's fucking tiring.
Yeah, bro. It's really
insane.
tiring. Yeah, it's super tiring, man. That shit'll get you, especially like throwing punches and kicks and getting punched back, dude, and doing that for 5 whole minutes.
Dude, I would
But
throw
like
up
5 times, bro. I've thrown up on that shit before.
I
That's the
100%
only time I've
believe it.
ever thrown up exercising was striking one day, man. I didn't even mean to at all, dude. We were just like sparring. It was like one of the first few times I'd sparred in a while once I started getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right whenever I started getting back into it. And yeah, dude, I puked, man. I puked like twice doing that shit.
I ran track.
So I puked today doing that.
Did you?
No,
Or
I did.
somebody did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ran track senior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to say that I puked a couple of the practices. It was terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not a puker. Like, I hardly ever get sick. You know, I haven't puked very often, at least in my adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, that's not my thing. And, bro, those workouts were just fucking crazy.
Man, yeah, I don't fucking like puking, man. Man, I hate puking so much, dude. That was one of the reasons why. One of the things that whenever it came to like training martial arts, because in high school, I really, even before then, like I love karate, stuff like that. I always loved just like learning the combat and practicing it. But whenever I started training in high school, late high school, man, I was always, I'll tell you this, the first time I walked into the gym, there was a guy named Adam Jones. He's a good dude. Love that dude. Pretty much like an older brother. I walked in, man, and he's training for a fight, and I see this dude hitting these pads and just puking. Like, he'll hit it like, yeah, and then he'll go puke, and then he'll get back to it. That's the first thing I saw whenever I walked into the gym. Alright? Like, I walked
And
into
you
the
stayed?
gym before I ever knew anything about it. I walked into the gym. This guy named Joe comes up and talks to me. He's like, hey, you interested in training? I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to, like, you know, see what this is about, how much it is. And on the side, Adam's over here hitting pads, just puking. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? And I say that, and then, dude, like, one of my biggest fears with, like, conditioning and stuff like that and training was pushing myself till I puked. It was, like, as far as, like, athlete, push yourself, like, physical shit, one of my biggest fears was just like working out so hard that I puked.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why I was scared of it, and I say that because like it was one of the reasons why I didn't like continue to pursue martial arts, and I didn't practice it because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get good at it because I'm not gonna push myself till I puke. And you got to do that sometimes whenever you train. I'm like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. Well, so like I kind of stopped doing it, you know, in college and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And push forward, like, about a year ago, I was training, man. And like I said, that sparring session was the first time I puked whenever I sparred. But it's fucking the most liberating thing because I pushed myself to that limit. Didn't even mean to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fucking puked, dude. And I was like, that's not, like, too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, I was like, that's not, like, that bad. And then, like, I sparred, like, 2 more rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was done. You know? And then, like, the same thing happened, like, a week later, and it hasn't happened since. And dude, it literally pisses me off a little bit about myself. Not like I'm pissed at myself, but, like, I was like, dude, like, literally, like, you didn't do this stuff because of this shit right here?
Something so minuscule.
Yeah. Yeah, something, and I was like, wow, it's like, this ain't that bad. Like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. It was, like, one of the, like, it's like a plateau, it's like a breakthrough, it's like a huge epiphany that I had whenever that happened, man. And it's something that I try to think about with like other things, you know, and apply that to other areas of life. But yeah, puking, man. Like that was like my biggest fear, and I was like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to puke.
In the grand scheme of things, it's really not that bad.
No.
But when you think about like outside thinking, when you're not doing it, when you think about training, whatever it is you're training, to you puke, it sounds terrible.
Yeah,
But
especially if you've never done it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Especially if you've never pushed yourself to that moment. When it happens, you're like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And you kind of feel accomplished when you're in the moment. Not when you think about it, but when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
It's an accomplishment, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, I did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I want to do all the time because I feel like shit for the rest of the day. But I was like, fuck yeah, I can't believe I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's not like that bad. And I always thought like once you got to that point, like you got to be like, your whole body has to be hurting. You're probably about to cry. You push yourself that hard, like you're about to break and pass out, and everything starts looking weird or something, and you're about to cry. Like that's what has to be going through your body and your mind whenever you reach that point of puking. And it's like, I was chill until it happened. I was like having a good time. I was tired, don't get me wrong, but I was just like tired, and then I was like, I'm tired, but like, and I want to keep sparring, but I feel like I'm about to puke right now.
Yeah.
Like I might want to go to the trash can real quick. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't like, oh fuck, I'm getting beat, like I'm gonna die, like everything looks weird, and
You weren't like famished or anything.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like cry right now, like this is brutal. Like I was having a good ass time.
For people that have never been to that point, for people that haven't trained, they don't understand it. And I didn't understand it when I wasn't on the others, when I was on the other side. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I know a bunch of people that I am friends with and people that will listen to this that, you know, were athletes and, you know, trained to do whatever it is they were doing for a long time. So I know a bunch of them will understand to an extent.
Right.
So how long have you been training in martial arts?
Let's see. I started training I graduated high school in 2011. Probably
Yeah, class of 11. What it do?
Probably started training in like 2010.
Okay.
So I'm going on like 10 years.
Ooh.
But on and off though. A lot of off. There's a lot more off than I prefer. But I would have periods of consistency and showing up. You know what I'm saying? But like once I got to college, I would take time off during the school year, and I would just train over the breaks.
I got you.
And then once I graduated from college, I took a year off from training completely because I was focusing on dancing.
Okay.
And I knew, man, once I get in the mats, dude, I get addicted to this shit, bro. Like, I love it so fucking much. I'm like, I can't just train a couple times and be cool with just training a couple times and just, like, not think about it.
Yeah.
Like, once I'm on there, it's like, I gotta be on there as much as I can in some form or fashion. And I want to get as good as I fucking can.
I mean, if you're not going to, then what's the point? If you're going to spend that much time and effort into it.
Well, yeah. But it's not something that I could just do as like until I'm like old. It's not something that I can do as just a hobby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't just do it like once a week. And I was like, I know if I go train and I just try to train once a week, I'm gonna like give up dancing or something like that. Like,
yeah.
And I did, but I didn't. But like I did.
Speaking of dance, we were actually on the step team together back at OMS. Man, what a time.
What a time, dude. Step team. Over there stomping the yard.
Yep.
Well, it was on the court, but, you know.
We are of legal age to consume alcoholic beverages. That is exactly what you heard.
Yeet. I'm over here sipping on a White Claw, man.
That is not sponsored. No. Not sponsored.
Not yet. But no, man, you know, I just started drinking White Claws, bro. Like, maybe I told you this already, but...
You're such a masculine man to be drinking White Claws.
Dude, whenever people say sometimes you gotta tap into the feminine, this is the way that I tap into the feminine.
Speaking of...
But, yeah, one of my buddies, like, said something. They were like, hey, I'm drinking a White Claw. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then my brother had one day. And I was like, can I try one of these? And he was like, yeah. And I tried it, and I was like, you know, this ain't too bad.
Now you're drinking it?
Yeah. Now I'm drinking.
Man.
I prefer this over the other stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah.
As you know, I've never really been an alcohol person.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's just never been my thing. So, dancing and theater is actually kind of what you studied in school, correct?
Yeah. Theater performance. Went to college for theater performance at the University of Evansville. Man, I got an associated study in law and political science.
Sounds pretty fucking spot on for Steffan Clark.
Yeah, dude. And I wanted to like double major in theater and physical therapy, but they were just too demanding, both of the programs. because we had like one of the top undergrad theater programs in the country. It's like ranked number 3.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then it was definitely top 10 whenever I was there, but and the PT program was really good too, and their nursing program was like supposed to be really good. So just super demanding, so I couldn't do both. But an associated studies it's like one step below a minor. It's like a couple credits less than like a minor, or something like that, you know. And yeah, law and political science. That was definitely studied way more theater than the law and the political science. But yeah, learned a little bit about how to act, how to tell stories, I kind of did the dance study on my own.
I got you. What was one of your most memorable moments of your theater college education?
You know, that's a good... I'll name off some of them because I don't know the most one.
Okay, yeah,
you know?
Just one of them.
Dude, one of the most embarrassing moments was I finally got the lead in a play in college. And this was like a big play because the style of theater that we did had never been done at the school before. And it's called Promenade. And that's where the audience can walk throughout the set. So there's no like stage and then audience. It's like the audience is on the stage with us.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're going to walk wherever they can walk. There's like certain things they couldn't climb on. But for the most part, they could like sit on the seats, whatever.
So it was you were kind of like doing a small portion of improv in it.
Luckily, the way we planned it out, like we figured out where people would be, so it wasn't as much improv.
Okay.
But we didn't know that until it like went down.
Okay.
So I was the lead in that play, and it was such a good time. It was also at a time whenever I was going through like my awakening, and I was like becoming more conscious of myself and everything like that. And, like tapped into more spirituality and shit. So it was just all perfectly timed for my life. But dude, one time, man, the style of this type of play, like the language of the play is like Shakespeare.
Kind of like a broken English.
Yeah, that's the best way I can explain that. And I say that because for some, you know, like whenever we naturally talk, like we stutter and I stop and I talk and then I'll say and I might repeat something a little bit. Something like that, right? Well, I'd never done this in rehearsal, but one time during the show, I thought it'd just be a good idea to add that style into like into my acting. Like, and this was like during the run of the show. And so I did. So I was like going through this play, like if I was like doing a natural style, then like it probably would have played off well. But that's not the style of the fucking play. And dude, my director, I did it throughout the whole thing, and my director, like, we were all in the changing room, the guys' dressing room, and he comes down there and he's just like, we don't stutter whenever we're doing this. He was just like, start going off on the stuttering. And he didn't look at me, and he didn't call me out specifically.
That's a true leader, though. That's a true leader. There,
and everybody knew it was me. You know what I'm saying?
You were the only one stuttering that day.
I was the only one fucking stuttering that day, dude. And it was the most embarrassing. Like, I was like, oh, shit. Like, thinking about that, like, the embarrassing chemicals are flowing through my body right now. And, you know, like that feeling where your body gets warm because you're just, like, embarrassed.
And like, you're, like, sweating?
Yeah. That right there. And I remember that. It was, like, a shitty time, but, like, that whole play was, like, a good time. That was fun.
Got a question for you.
What's up?
Was there a girl in that class that you were trying to impress? Dude. Especially after you got the lead role?
Bro, there was a girl in the play that I was trying
to really?
impress. Yeah, dude, like my biggest crush in college was like in that play. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, and yeah, no, definitely. I was always trying to show off, man. But that was whenever I was like mode 3.
Mode 3.
Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. That's whenever I would like try to do the friend route and see how that would.
You want to go ahead and just like go over those for the people that are listening? Just like a quick synopsis?
Yeah. Cool. Okay, it's tight. So, Keep in mind, I didn't make any of this up. It's from Alan Roger Curry, but I'll just try to paraphrase what I've learned from it. So mode, he has 4 modes. So like, this is it talking about like in relationship to your true feelings towards a woman, right? So mode 1 is whenever you know there's a woman that you like, that you have like feelings for, sexually or whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's important too. Like, do you want short term or long term?
Absolutely.
Do you want like just hook up, or do you want like something serious? That's all part of mode 1 as well. But you know, mode 1 is whenever you're direct, you're straight up about it. Like, you know what you want, and then you just like tell her. All right. Mode 2 is whenever you like, you know that you want to kind of like be with her and stuff like that, but you play like games. You know that you're interested in her, but you're like just hating on her instead. Like, it's a lot of push pull, like just a more
like a
than, like,
hard
push.
to get. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
you're just like playing mind games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It would be like, I don't know if I'm into you. Or like, no, I'm not into you. And then like you'll give her a flower one day or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like dumb shit. So like maybe she'll make a move.
A lot of flip flop.
Yeah. Mode 3 is whenever you know that you want to like, would rather be in some type of relationship with this woman. Some type of sexual relationship or romantic. But you go the friend route instead. So you're like, hey, let me be your friend. Hey, let me be your friend. And I'll be awesome to her. I'll be nice to her. And then maybe one day she'll realize how awesome I am and then she'll want to be with me.
It's,
you know?
What's that movie from back in the 80s?
Oh, there's a bunch of movies that are like mode 3, man.
Yeah,
There's like,
absolutely.
yeah, dude.
Is it Pretty? No, 16 Candles.
I've never seen that.
It's a from the same people that are in The Breakfast Club. A lot of the same people.
Man.
And it's like the same genre of movie. And it's kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and that's something that I was super guilty of in my
Oh, I've done that
recent years,
countless
recent
times.
years. But, you know, probably before I was like 24, 25. And so, mode 3, yeah. You try to go the front route, hoping that one day, like, the stars will be aligned and she'll see, like, how cool you are. And then she'll realize how important you are.
Be like, man, that guy's an asshole. You don't need to be with him. I've been here through everything.
Yeah.
I've been your best friend through everything.
Do you not see what I do for you? So,
Oh my God.
like, so.
And I love to hate, but I've been that person.
Yeah, man, and a lot of dudes have. So
A lot of dudes
because
still
of
are.
these movies and stuff. And anyway, there's a lot into that. But mode 4 is, you know, I've kind of heard a couple different things from him. My interpretation of mode 4 is whenever you're just like more resentful. So like, you know, you like this woman, but maybe she doesn't like you, or you're just pissed off at women, so you're just like more resentful on it. It's just like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. He's given a different definition for mode 4 whenever I've like recently kind of learned stuff, but I forgot what it was. But that's how I interpret it. You know,
Okay.
so my own little mode 4, whatever.
So,
But
quick question about that mode 4. Would you say, and I'm speaking kind of from past experiences from a couple years ago, like say if you were into somebody, they were kind of into you, and then they just kind of like did you dirty, and you start being resentful, or maybe they just like lose interest.
well, are you like? My question would be like, are you like resentful, but you want to be with her? Because if you want to be with her, then that'd be mode 4.
That would be mode 4.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But if you're like,
that's the question.
she did me dirty and I don't want to be with her, then I'm like, I don't want to be with her. I don't want to be around her. Like that, she's a awful human being or something. So
Yeah,
I don't want anything to do with her.
gotcha. So for all the people that are listening, don't be mode 2 through 4. Be mode 1.
Be mode 1.
Be
Yeah.
100% mode 1.
If you can, you know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you're in the workplace, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever you can be mode 1, be mode 1.
Yeah, because I was like mode 3, man. That's funny. Yeah.
I've 100% been mode 3 countless times.
That was one of the biggest lessons I learned, was like that little relationship.
It makes you feel uncomfortable when you realize it.
Yeah, it makes you feel
Bro.
I wish I could just like hide that shit and like, because I've been mode 3 so many times in my life, and sometimes it would work. And whenever it does work, that makes you like really believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it doesn't actually work, does it?
it can. You know what I'm saying? It can. I mean, eventually, in my opinion, you would have to eventually be mode 2 or mode 1 to like let her know how you really feel. You know, I think it can, but I don't think it's the best. Like, it's not gonna make your woman the most attracted to you.
Correct.
You know, if you went the Mode 3 route.
Correct.
You know, all of them can kind of work. You know, there's dudes who are like, I fucking hate this bitch, blah, 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 and she'll, like, stay with them and shit.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? But it's not the most direct, straight up, honest route to go. You know what I'm saying?
So, be mode 1, for sure.
Yeah.
When you can.
Yes, man.
I was watching a movie with my dad the other day, and it made me think of you. Do you want to take one guess to what that movie was?
All right, I'll take one guess. Fuck. I'm gonna go Rudy.
Rudy?
Okay, I don't know why I said.
You know how many times we watched that movie at OMS alone?
Dude, I love that movie.
Dude, going into the auditorium, just watching that movie. It's a great movie. I remember watching that in October Sky. October Sky is one of my favorite movies.
That's a good one too.
I'm a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan.
I enjoyed that one. He's a good actor.
I actually have Jake Gyllenhaal tattooed on my arm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
fuck.
my Donnie Darko tattoo.
Oh, okay, that explains. So it's
Yeah.
more like you want the Donnie Darko than the
Correct, but it just happens to be
Yeah,
Jake
okay.
Gyllenhaal.
Got
Correct.
you. Okay.
But the movie,
You hear me? I was like, oh snap! All right.
yeah, the movie that I watched that reminded me of you
What?
was Hitch.
Hitch. Yeah. Let's go, dude. That's one of my favorite movies, man.
I
That is one of
100%
my
believe
favorite
that it is.
It's like Lord of the Rings, and then whenever it comes to movies that aren't like cinema, you know, whatever, Hitch.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, bro.
And who is it that's in the movie with him? Is it Eva Mendes?
I think that's her name.
Man, talk about a babe.
Yeah, it's one of my future wives.
One of your future wives. So you're into polygamy or?
Not too much.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
I might be open to it if at some point in my life that, like, you know, it was just like there and I really wanted it and like I felt like God was telling me to do it, but not often do people reference God and polygamy in the same sense.
Not really, no.
But for the most part, I just feel like, you know, the balance between one masculine, one feminine is probably better to do consistently throughout your day.
Okay.
I mean, if your chick want to add another chick in there every now and then, you know what I'm saying, whatever. That's cool too, you know.
I have
If my
had
girlfriend's
friends,
like, hey, we can add this chick in here for like a night. I'm like, okay, cool.
but you wouldn't.
But I don't want to
like
like there every day and I have to like have this two women that I have to deal with our problems together. Like deal with the bills.
It's an interesting concept.
Whatever, you know what I'm
like
saying?
just like the whole life thing, with like
All of
two
it,
different. Yeah. The whole concept
yeah,
of it.
and managing like kids and stuff. I don't know if I
yeah.
want to.
I got you. My one of my really good friends and his wife were into it or are into it. Not so much anymore. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little odd.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
It was a little odd for me to get used to, but I got used to it. And I mean, not knocking it. It was just something different from
Definitely
what I was
different.
used to.
Yeah.
We also know somebody that was in a polyamorous relationship at one point.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with her for a little bit of time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little uncomfortable,
Yeah.
just because it was something new, and I just didn't know how to take it.
Yeah, it's definitely different and it's definitely uncomfortable at the start. And I think it's always a little uncomfortable, but I think like monogamy is a little uncomfortable.
Oh,
too all the time.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because then you're like worried about subtle things like if they're going to leave you, if they're going to stay. Or you can be, you know, you can enjoy the whole process instead. But, you know, it's like, you going to stick around? Are they into other people? Am I being, you know, it's whatever.
And then you have, and I mean, like I said, I'm not knocking it. I believe that people can do this. You know, people believe that they can have love for multiple people at the same time. You know, love is a huge, broad spectrum of feeling compared. You know, you can't compare, you know, your love for something compared to my love for something because it's totally different.
It's different.
Yeah. Now, I will say that when me and that girl were hanging out, I was getting a back rub and her boyfriend walked in. And one of the most uncomfortable moments in my life. I had no idea what to do. You know, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "I gotta go. Like, I gotta go home." I felt like I got caught. You know, I felt like the dude caught me. You know, and I was like, "Well,
yeah."
But it wasn't like that. You know, for people that can do that, you know, shout out. You know, I'm not hating on it. It was just definitely something different for me to experience.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I've kind of done it in some form or fashion, on and off throughout, you know, my past couple of years since I've kind of learned more about it. And then at the same time, you know, sometimes people kind of do it anyway. You know, they just like...
True.
They're just like randomly hooking up, or they're hooking up with a couple different people throughout.
They're kind of just like dating.
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
dating around.
Yeah.
Which I have no hate for.
Or people get in like emotional affairs. Those are real.
Entanglements.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting stuff. I don't know how I'm cool with whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with whatever, and I'm kind of cool with whatever.
Mm-hmm. Just different things for different people.
At the moment. Not what's good at the moment, as in like you just always go based off the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what's maybe like something like a calling, like something you just feel called to do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like I said, different things for different people.
Yeah, right.
How do you feel about marriage?
I like the idea. I'm going to get married in my life, you know, God willing. I think it's important. I think it's really important. I think it's something that people should respect, probably practice to the best of their abilities.
Like, what do you mean?
And I think it's important for kids and children. I think it's important for people to be raised by both their parents most of the time. Aside from like maybe some outliers to where like a parent's like super toxic, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if there's a family and like, you know, the mom and dad just hooked up one night, turned into a kid, and they're not really compatible.
Well, that household could still be loving.
It could be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe
even without them being together. Well, I'm saying if they're not together.
But I think they should be together. The ideal situation is don't have a kid with a woman you don't want to like be with the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? I know not everybody's
or vice versa.
Do that. Yeah, right. I know not everybody's gonna do that. I was raised by a single mom. You know what I'm saying?
I was raised by a single dad.
My siblings have like different dads. Like it's
same.
Cool. And so I definitely think it's important for the kids to be raised in the household with their parents, assuming that relationship with the parents is like kind of made out of love between those two as well.
Gotcha. Now, I will say that I believe that, like I said, I believe that you can have a household where the parents aren't together, but both of them are still loving for you. And I mean, correct me if I'm saying this wrong. In son, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say, just like a huge amount of love still coming from both parents.
Yeah, that's the next best situation.
Now, I could say that
it can be done.
My childhood wasn't always like that. I had a toxic family member in mine. Now, you know, it's not as bad. Now we have a great relationship. But it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just life.
Right. And I don't really know what to tell people to do. You know what I mean? It just kind of depends on the situation. The studies do show that kids who are raised in, you know, with both parents in the household, they generally do perform better in life, or they're less likely to get addicted to drugs and alcohol, less likely to go to prison, more likely to perform bad in school. On their grades.
Okay.
And
like fit social norms.
Yeah, and financial success as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like even Obama said that. You know, he says, I don't know the direct quote, but I've seen the quote. You know, I've seen the video of him saying, you know, kids who are raised in like a fatherless home are X amount more likely to go to prison. You know, versus kids that aren't. And there's a great book called The Boy Crisis. I forgot about the author. He goes into the importance of that. And there's another good book called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover.
That's actually a big book that you take, right? Like
yeah,
a
like
book
I did
that
like
you've
a video
applied to your
series.
life. Yeah.
It's like the title's cheesy, but it's a really good book. It's well written out, and there's like a lot of data like behind this type of stuff. But yeah, the 2-parent household is really important. I think it's something that our culture should like shift towards focusing on more.
Absolutely.
You know, like for real, like it. Yeah, I think that's super important.
So I don't believe in marriage. Now, what I mean by that is I don't believe in the legality of marriage. I'm not against being with the same person for the rest of my life. But say I was with said person and one day they just decided they wanted to up and leave. You know, whatever the reasoning was. If that was the case, I don't think it's right that I should have to pay the government for our split.
Oh yeah, shit like that's whack.
Yeah, that's like really the only problem I have.
The spiritual bond's the most important part.
And also, if you, I may be wrong with this number. It's been a couple years since I've looked it up, but 56% of marriages end in divorce. Once again, not sure if that's the correct
but it's
amount
something like
right
that.
now.
It's like half or like
over
almost
half. You
Yeah,
know, it's
crazy.
just those are
It's
just.
high. Yeah.
I have, for people that are around me, my loved ones' first marriages usually never work. My mother has been married a couple times. My father has never been married. My grandparents were married once before they met. You know, so and my brother, he was married before, and she ended up turning out crazy. Like, I don't believe all girls are crazy, but she was fucking crazy. But so I'm just like, for most of my, you know, young adulthood and adulthood, I'm like, maybe marriage is just not in my family.
Yeah, I don't blame you for thinking that way, man. It's I mean, I'm not married, so I don't really have like the keys to marriage or anything. I guess it's just all what I think and what I've learned from other people who may have had like successful marriages. It's definitely challenging. It's something you should stick through. I agree, man. I don't know if people should have to, or, you know, should make sure that they stay with somebody for the rest of their life. But if they have kids, they should wait until the kids are like out the nest before they split up. I do think that's probably better.
Now,
And I even think in a lot of bad situations, man, people need to learn to just stick it out with each other. And they got to learn how to, well, two things. You know, there's like two reasons why people would split, because, you know, the chemistry is just gone. So how to like maintain chemistry, how to build that chemistry and that sex appeal, and, you know what I'm saying, turn each other on and stuff like that. And then also how to learn how to stick it through those times that like you're not just like, you don't feel like doing each other as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reason, it's just not there. It might not even be y'all are doing the wrong thing. Like, the man or the woman could just be going through like a crazy phase in their life, or different, maybe stressed out from.
And it can 100% not have anything to do with their partner.
Yeah, right. Maybe
it could,
but they need to learn how to like stick through that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But in a day and age of today, you know, where you can, you know, turn on your phone and then, you know, if your husband or your wife isn't getting it done for you, somebody else can.
Yeah.
It's so easy to turn to that.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It's I don't have the answers for it, but like, I think I've kind of changed my views on how I have relationships with women now.
How so?
Because me personally, I'm a man and I'm into women, like feminine women. I also believe in a lot of cases, I'm not saying all cases, most of the time, whenever a man is friends with a woman, one of the two wants to fuck each other.
Okay.
And maybe because like that woman's dating his friend, he doesn't want to, but he like would. If the opportunity, if she like took her clothes off and was like, let's get it, he would be like, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Just don't tell anybody.
If that situation wasn't there, like he'd be trying to shoot his shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of the two wants to be what he's, you know what I'm saying? Get a little physical.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases. Sometimes you can have that chick who's just like your sister, you know, like your spiritual sister or whatever, brother, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes.
See, I have...
But I think most of the time people would.
I can agree with that.
If we're being mode one,
yeah,
bro.
absolutely. If you're being mode one, I can agree that most of the time.
Yes.
Now,
and a lot of people
will
say they'll be the friends. They'll go to mode 3 route, or they'll say they'll be the friends because they feel like they need to. You know, they'll suppress their sexual desires, whatever. That's okay. I'm not. Just do you?
Like we said, we've all been there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm saying all that because me personally, I try to hang out with my bros now. I would prefer to hang out with men. Like my friends that I'm going to sit here and chill and like do all this kind of stuff is like usually just men. You know what I'm saying? If there's women around, there's like a masculine, feminine, like there's like people are trying to test each other, see if they're compatible thing going on. Okay. Unless, and this is what I'll say, unless there's money involved.
Okay.
So unless we're teaming up to work on like some specific thing that we need to build for our community, I can set that aside. But just for that stuff, like I'm not gonna sit here and call you up to just talk. I'm not gonna. At this point in my life, maybe if I'm married, I don't know. But anyway, at this point in my life, that's just not what I prefer to do. Like if we're coming together to like make money for each other, cool. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm going to provide you with a service, if I'm going to help you solve a problem, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? You're going to help me solve a problem. Like I'm going to pay you money, you're going to pay me money. That's cool too. Because there's just this like service aspect to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with serving women in like life sense, just helping them do something. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't really prefer to be friends with a lot of women.
Gotcha.
You know? I don't know. I think I'd be curious if that'd be a better route for people to start going in. You know what I'm saying? Men just kind of hang out with men. Not saying we don't hang out with women. You know what I'm saying? Not saying we don't. But just like try to chill with your bros more. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to create all these little female friends that you're just going mode 3 with. You know what I mean?
For the most case.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think you can do whatever you want to do. Anybody can do what they want to do. In the best case scenario, if you're your best self, you're not going to be mode 3.
Oh, yeah. No,
you know
I'm saying for the most, like, for...
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is, and you've met a couple of my friends, I do have female friends that are strictly just friends.
But do you know that they don't want to have sex with you?
I can't say that I do because it's never been a thing that we have discussed.
That they're
but
not
I know
interested
on my end, I have at least 3 to 5 friends of mine that are girls that are just there for like whatever I need. Like say if I need a female opinion on something, which is a refreshing thing, you know, kind of touch base on what you're saying. It's a refreshing thing, you know, just to get a whole nother side of things.
Yeah, it is.
You know, if you can have friends that are just, you know, strictly friends, because I don't think, me personally, I don't think friends are gender, you know, I just think you just have your close people around you who feed off of you and feed to you.
Yes.
You know, I don't think it's like a gender thing. Now, I will agree that in most cases that there is a mode 3. One of the other is physically attracted. I can 100% agree with most cases.
But like you like what you're saying, like they're and I think if I like sit here and think about it, there are women that like, you know, I'm like, you know, sometimes like older women, like there's like women who I kind of feel like are like my older sister maybe. You know what I'm saying? And those women like I work with. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like different. We're working for a little cause. But for the most part, man. And I say that like so like marriages and stuff like that. I think people need to practice that more because a lot of affairs happen like at work. Or a lot of affairs are like and start off as emotional affairs. You know, like you're talking to your friend and then you get a little flirty and then you're thinking about your friend while you're having sex with your partner.
Now, I do 100% believe that guys and girls can be strictly friends. But
I think
there
it can be too.
there should at least be a lingering thought if you're in a relationship and that is a thing.
Yeah.
You should at least be aware. It doesn't need to
make
be
sure
something that you
really
stress
don't.
over.
Yeah, you don't need to have no more 3 relationships if you're like trying to build a relationship with a partner.
Absolutely.
This is what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm curious about. I don't think this is the way, and I'm 100% certain. I'm curious. I think like maybe this is the way, and I firmly believe are 3 fucking different things.
Mm-hmm.
So before anybody tries to twist up what the fuck I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying.
You've been called a woman hater before, haven't you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like I've literally lived my life for women. At a certain point in my life, and then people call me women haters, whatever. But and then like obviously like with women like kids, like that's cool. You know, I think that's important too. Like, you know, like having like you know, a group of girls that you coach, or no, I'm saying that you teach, or that you volunteer somewhere, you know what I'm saying, or programs that you run, and like taking care of the kids so that these kids get a understanding what a healthy, you know, male role model looks like, you know what I'm saying, aside from just their dad, you know what I'm saying, who's not out here trying to just do weird stuff with them, you know what I'm saying. I think that's important too. But once we get to that age where, you know, everybody's ready to do whatever, you know, you should just really think about that.
Absolutely.
But I think that if we did stuff like that, marriages would be better.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Just kind of being more aware of our surroundings and
stop tempting yourself so much, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stop putting so much temptation in front of your face and thinking you're never gonna break.
Sure. Can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, exactly, man. And so that way you can focus all your energy on your partner, and then make that better. Mm-hmm. You know.
Now,
like whenever athletes are like really good at their sport, but then they start worrying about other shit and start focusing on other shit, their game gets off. Mm-hmm. They start to get worse at their game. You know, they lose their touch.
Yeah.
I think like you should probably fantasize about your partner more. Try not to let yourself like fantasize about other women and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know? If you're really dedicated, like married to a partner, like this is the person that you want to like bond with.
Absolutely. Now, the
just thoughts, man.
guy that I had on last episode, Sean, he is actually engaged to a girl that I know, and he was just basically touching base on how different his life has been after getting engaged, you know, with, you know, kind of realizing like the things that he does. They kind of, his fiance was saying, you know, the way that you are saying these things makes me feel like I'm small and makes me feel like I'm an idiot for not understanding what you're saying. And he wasn't grasping the concept because that's not how he meant it. But it's not his call to tell her how he makes her feel. You know, if that makes her feel something, he can't turn around and tell her, that doesn't make you feel like that. You know? And that's what he was saying, is that, like, it's been a huge, like, game changer for him to be like, okay, this is making her feel some type of way. It's up to me to change it or just to keep doing it. What do I want to do? And that's what he was saying, you know, changing the way he says things and the way he looks at things. He was like, that has just kind of changed his mindset.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
Exactly. That's really cool. I like that. And yeah, you gotta adapt. You gotta, you know, I mean, don't sell your soul for the chick.
Oh no,
too much of yourself. But yeah, just listen, communicate, make sure you know each other knows what's going on, and compromise where you gotta compromise if you feel like you should compromise there. Yeah, man, I definitely think marriage is gonna be important. I think it's important for our development as humans. And just kind of giving us, I mean, the world is kind of crazy enough, you know, it kind of gives you a sense of normalcy a little bit. I think it's important, too, that, like, people see having 2 parents in the household, like, you see a real relationship. Well, you see people who care about each other fight it out. You're going to see some of that. You're going to see them disagree. And you're going to see them get over it. You're going to see them, like, work through it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to see how that affects your house, just your little house, right?
Yeah.
And so you carry that into other areas of life, you know? Not only do you get your mama's feminine energy and you get your daddy's masculine energy and the characteristics that come with that, but just for those 2 to be in that household and, like, work shit out, every day in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing whenever dad comes and drops you off, you know what I'm saying, and they bicker something out right there and they're arguing through text or whatever, you know. It's another thing whenever you can see it in the household and see that play out. You know, you're in the car ride home and mom and dad are pissing at each other and you can see it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. You can feel,
you gotta
you
feel
feel
that
the
for the next
tension.
8 hours on the road trip. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? Like,
You might as well just turn around and go back
yeah,
home.
yeah, you don't get that whenever the parents are like split up. You know what I'm saying?
That uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you learn how to deal with that shit. Like I know growing up, you know, I had a hard time in my relationships because of that. Like I always thought I was almost all my relationships in my life. I've been like very on and off, right? Even if I dated a woman for like a year or two, or in middle school, a girl, whatever, it'd be on and off for like a year or two, like a lot of on and off. And what my issue was, and a lot of times I would end the relationship or I would get them to end the relationship because what I realized was like I would get in these disagreements with these girls and I get all pissed and because we were in this disagreement, like I was like, oh, I'm feeling this way, so we're probably not meant to be together. This feeling means that we're not compatible. But really, this is just like the feelings you get whenever you fight with people that you love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that you care about. And these are the things that get brought up. You know, this is just how real relationships work. But I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, oh, like, we're fighting, so we're probably just not meant to be together.
Absolutely.
And, like, I break up. And then, like, I'd be, like, missing them in, like, a day. You know what I mean? I'm like, why do I miss it? Like, and then I'd be like, why did we even break up? Like, this is crazy. And then I'd spend, like, a couple weeks trying to get him back. You know? And then that cycle would just repeat. Or she would do the same thing. Or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
You'd have to spend a couple of weeks being mode 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Or mode 2, definitely, you know. And just, like, mode 4 sometimes, dude. Like, shit. It's... And I think you learn that, like, with parents, too. So, like, me personally, I'll say that that's affected me. You know, I didn't see mom and dad fight in the kitchen under their breath and then, like, kiss and make up the next day.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't see dad get chewed out by mom, take the chew now, take the ass whooping, you know what I'm saying? And then just, like, keep going and shit.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And I think and I never really thought about it too much until a couple years ago, you know? But I think that affects us, and you know, we can learn from that, and maybe that can motivate us to have like more successful relationships whenever we, you know, do our thing. But yeah, man, I think that's important as well. I think that's important for our development.
It's an interesting way to look at things for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I could definitely see that concept.
Now that's something that I think and believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think like a bunch of people being raised by parents who aren't together is like a good thing. A bunch of dudes being raised without their fathers in the household, that's not a good thing. You know, I was having a conversation about that at the gym today. That's not a good thing.
Now
that can happen and we can still be successful and still be good, raised being good people, and that can happen sometimes. You know, people can be raised in the household with their parents and they still wound up being fucked up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not saying that, but I think in general it's better.
Yeah, absolutely. You actually just got your certification to become a nutrition coach, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How was that?
That was a good time, man. It was interesting. I learned a lot of cool stuff about the body and how it works and the best ways, you know, the better practices that we can do to make sure it works efficiently, and the practices that we can, the type of stuff we can practice to have more energy, to make sure we don't fuck ourselves up too much, and and how everything's intertwined, man. It's crazy how complex the body is.
Yeah, I'm just like a huge science nerd from almost any kind of science. You know, the space and stars and everything is always, spoke to me even as a kid. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was younger.
Wow.
But then I actually am afraid of heights, or I was afraid of heights, so I said, fuck that. So, but yeah, I was studying to be an athletic trainer. And I loved learning how everything was just like intertwined, like you were saying, in the body. And I still do. I mean, as you know, I've been an avid gym goer for a little over a year now. I'm currently changing my like diet, just the things I'm intaking. And it's really interesting to see how different my body is reacting to that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just weird. Like,
Because it goes beyond just looks, too.
dude, it goes way beyond looks.
And it's hard to, like, articulate the mental tweaks that it gives you. Just, like, taking care of yourself, working out. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to articulate benefits.
It's a huge benefit, man. Like,
and the difference.
I couldn't tell you how many times I've had people be like, man, I wish I could get to the gym like you and blah, 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 blah. And it's so annoying, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, you can.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to get in there 6 times a week like I do. But you can get in there 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And literally, what I tell them is, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking the time out of my day to go to the gym and transforming my body. And my body has 100% transformed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you're getting swollen, ripped.
And I mean, like, I'm trying to lose weight. If I can get in between $130 to $135, it'd be nasty.
Oh, dude.
And then, maybe at that point I can go take some sparring classes too.
Yes, sir. We're gonna get you in there, dude.
I need to get in there.
You do, bro. You do.
Yeah.
You can. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
It's just the money aspect. That's different.
Dude,
That's different. That's different.
I mean, I think you can make it happen.
I could make it happen, but I would have to change a couple of my lifestyles.
You sure?
And I'm just not in. I'm not in the place to do that right now. I'm not gonna lie. But it is definitely something that I'm interested in doing. I would love to train jiu-jitsu.
And I only say that because I could tell you're really interested in it.
Oh, dude, I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, and I know you like.
Well, yeah, I've sent you 3 videos this week, and you're just giving me tips.
Yeah.
You and a couple other people, but and that's why I do it. Is I want to learn, and I even just from the tips that you and other people have given me, I noticed the difference in my striking.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, that makes sense. You were getting some more tips because you changed a lot of things.
Did I?
I was about to ask you what other tips you get.
Somebody else was telling me to stay grounded more.
Yeah,
I think it was before you said it.
Yeah, I told you. I was like, and you look more grounded.
I do remember that. I was kind of on my toes, bouncing back and forth. Just moving. And then, I had a couple people, a buddy of mine who actually boxed in the Army. He was giving me a couple of tips, and he was like, keep your foot planted, use your hips, turn, blah, blah, blah. So, just like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, I love it. And I love it. I look forward to going to hitting that heavy bag.
Yeah.
Today, I worked out for probably about 2.5, 3 hours. I did a very long upper body workout and then went and hit the heavy bag for 30-second rounds.
Hey.
And it was I just loved it, bro.
It's a good time, man. What do you think you like about the heavy bag specifically?
Just probably the give back. Just the feeling of being able to actually hit something without, not necessarily repercussions is the word I'm looking for, but just instead of me getting mad at something and just punching whatever the fuck's in my fucking way, because I get mad at, we play Warzone together and I get mad at that, bro, and I squeeze my controller, so just to take, whatever.
Bro, when I get in the 50s, if I get 50th place or something like that, then I'm like, I get pissed.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just hate waiting for the next game.
So just taking that anger and rage of other things.
Yeah, way better.
It's just nice putting it into that. And I was talking to Derek the other day. I think I got killed and I just went on a little rage moment for a second. And he was like, bro, you gotta chill. And even my dad tells me that. But I'm like, this is the only time I allow myself to let go like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, it doesn't happen.
Is the same.
Yeah. So, it's a nice little different, I could take that anger and frustration. Maybe I had a bad workout. Maybe I didn't get what I usually get. And I'm just going to poo, 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 poo. And just get my mind off of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sweating my ass off too because it's a huge workout.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you would love striking, bro.
I would really enjoy it.
It does, man.
I want to train jiu-jitsu. Like, it's
Yeah.
late, super late in my life. But
Nah,
just
it's
like...
not too late, bro.
No, it's not too late. It's just late. I didn't say too late.
How old are you?
Same age. 27.
27? Yeah. No, it's not too late. But
Yeah,
you're
we-
right. You're right. Yeah. It's like it's a little bit later, you know?
Yeah, but it's not too late. It's just later in my life.
Yeah, there's
but
a
I
lot
would
of dudes
like
who became
to...
like savages once they started training at your age.
I 100% believe it.
best
Like
in the
me, I'm in my personal best shape. So for other people that do it, I can see that.
Actually, jiu-jitsu specifically,
See,
like aging is better for us because jiu-jitsu is like way more technique. Gordon Ryan, he's like the best grappler in the world. Literally did a breakdown over this. He's only 25 and he's like has like a 50-fight win streak,
Holy shit.
grappling wise, jiu-jitsu. And you know, he's talking about he believes that whenever he's 35, he's like I'm just getting started, you know. And he was explaining how with jiu-jitsu, it's way more about technique, and the moves required are more like subtle, and it's like more stabilizers. Like if we're talking about like stabilizer muscles and like go muscles, like explosive muscles, you know, movement.
And you know, some of those muscles are my favorite muscles.
And so like jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of explosive stuff to it, you know what I'm saying? But it's focused more on technique and stability versus like striking, which has a lot to do with like explosive.
Okay.
Or explosion and power is like way more important. You see what I'm saying? So jiu-jitsu is perfect, man, because like the older we get, it's like the more technique we know, and our explosive muscles aren't there as much, like versus if we were in our younger 20s.
Correct.
But like we have the wisdom, we have the technique, and our stabilizers are gonna be fine.
And the mindset.
Yeah.
For the most part. You know?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, kind of like what you were saying, wisdom.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I would.
That's cool you brought up jiu-jitsu because a lot of people are like, I just want to learn the striking, and that's cool too. But
No,
jiu-jitsu is super important.
I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's very...
That's
I
true.
mean,
You like
just
Khabib over Conor. That's true. Khabib's like a wrestler.
yeah, I mean, that man wrestled a bear.
I remember during before that fight, I was like, "Who you want to win?" You were like, "Khabib."
I hate
like,
Conor.
"What?"
I hate Conor, bro. I hate Conor.
That's the first time I've ever beef with Blake. No, he's a Conor fan. Still am, but
I appreciate what Conor has done for the sport,
yeah,
but his mouth, like he will, even if it is just for showmanship, attacking people's like actual social, you know, not even social, personal life, like your religion, your family, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just low. Nah, like I said, if it's to sell fights, I get it.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
agree
right.
with it.
Yeah, some of it's a little. It does get out of whack. I mean, he got beat up.
He got beat up inside and outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Now, my friend Luke Dog, he would disagree with me, but that man got beat up inside and outside the ring.
He definitely got beat up inside the ring. And, yeah, man, I'm a fan of Conor because of what he did with MMA and, like, movement. You know, he was kind of one of the first fighters to, like, you know, he teamed up with a guy that I really love named Ido Portal. He's, like, a movement culture, like, master. And, I thought that was cool. You know,
You're
really
a very
resonated
big
with
movement person.
I love movement, bro. I think about it all fucking day.
You really do.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main reasons that, like, not that we're friends, but that we can have so many different conversations on so many different topics is because, like, movement not only incorporates into everything else that you're doing, but we both look at the deeper meaning or, I guess, deeper meaning of movement. You know, why are we moving the way that we are? How can we move more fluidly?
Yeah.
You know, with you doing the striking and me doing the vertical jump, you know, trying to increase my vertical jump, you know, it's that explosive muscles that we were talking about and just like the movement, because it's not just the muscles, like, as you know, when you're working out, it's not just the muscles you're working out. Like, it's going to be the adjoining and adjacent muscles as well.
Yeah, man. And think about how much conversation comes from movement. No, this is kind of a deep thought I just thought about while you were talking. I was like, yeah, you're right, man. And I was like, dang, like even think about like the conversation we just had in the last 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Now keep in mind you and I like this stuff, so we're more likely to talk about this stuff. But even if you're into other things, it requires a certain type of movement. But like movement creates like so much conversation. Like not only does it put you in the place to like meet people and have conversation, but like you and I talked about 3 types of movement recently. Like we were just talking about working out and thinking about all the things we could just kind of talked about, all the conversation that gave us from just talking about working out. And then we just talked about fighting, learning how to move like that. And then we're like, yeah, fighting, mindset, aggression, hard days, all that kind of stuff. And now we're just like talking about Ido Portal and like movement and shit like that and just like what it does for us. But like if you're just, I don't know why. Like, if you have another profession, you know what I'm saying? You're a firefighter. I don't know why this is the first thing that's popping in my head. But we're hidden in the dark and it's 11 o'clock at night.
We're actually hiding in the dark.
Hiding, yeah. And like, if you're a firefighter, man, like, think about all the shit that, you know, their techniques on how to, like, keep themselves safe. You know, and then whenever I bet they're like, dude, I was climbing the fucking ladder 100 feet in the fucking air, you know, that man. Whatever that thing is, you know what I'm saying? They gotta like work, make sure that they do that and they're stable while they do that. They got techniques for that, and they all like they relate to each other too because of that experience. You know, I did it with this 200-pound chick on my back, dude. Like, you know, like what's that like? Movement, man. So whenever you can get yourself, and then how many people you meet just because you go to a different type of class. Like I have so many friends just from going to jiu-jitsu, and we talk about so many different things, but that's just from like a movement class.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, if you think about it, like I've made so many friends at the gym. You know,
yeah, any gym, yeah.
Like I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, bro.
It definitely creates a lot of conversation, like you were saying.
Yeah, and just getting up, moving your body, finding whatever ways you want to move it. And then not only will that put you in places to where you can just meet people, but it gives you things to talk about.
With the nutrition thing, what has that changed, like with you or in your life?
Once again, learning like just more about the complexity of the body kind of just makes me appreciate things more. I didn't get like I learned like a couple like nutritional things, like how to help people figure out how many calories they need to lose, stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Or how many calories you need to consume. That I learned some stuff like that, you know. I don't remember all of the nutrients and what they do specifically. That wasn't something that I really retained. I learned even the behavioral stuff, like I knew a lot of that too, like how to set goals, you know. What's a bad way to set a goal, how to give your clients feedback, you know, that wasn't much new. Learning just like how complex, like just making that epiphany was a big thing. And then just getting like just a credential behind my stuff, that was cool too.
Yeah.
And then like this was like a thing that stood out to me more. And I think this is important now in times like where there's so much information going on and so many science articles and scientists or experts say, learning like what's real science and like what's considered a real, like the difference between like people's opinions, that, you know, just an expert opinion and like what that really means and like the flaw, because some people say, oh, it's an expert's opinion, so it's like this is it, but it's like, no, an expert opinion is just like what they kind of sort of think about that based off whatever information they have.
Literally their opinion.
Yeah, but they might not. But the thing is like there's so much there's certain layers to like scientific data that you think that they're spewing off facts, but they're not spewing off facts.
Oh, absolutely.
They're spewing off their opinion. But because it's an expert's opinion, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, see, the bad thing about that is that when the expert is spewing off their opinion, they're an expert in it. Now, when you listen to it, to their opinion.
Yeah, it makes it seem like, yeah, they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then you think you know what the fuck you're talking about. Like I said, I'm a huge science nerd.
Yeah.
So I love basically the whole scientific method. You know, drawing a hypothesis, doing the experiment, drawing conclusions, yada yada yada. You know, only through that will you know
Yeah.
for yourself. Now, I'm not a biologist or anything like that. You know, I'm a college dropout, you know, of an athletic training program. So, but I can appreciate the scientist,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's cool. And I think that was one of the things that like I remembered, and I was excited to learn while I was learning it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. But for the most part, it was just to say kind of like I did. Because I do like, I learned a lot of stuff on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a little something extra.
I mean, just even gaining knowledge. There's nothing wrong ever with that.
Right.
Knowledge is freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how to help people put together.
Have recently started a body program?
Yeah, the bodyweight training boot camp, the 2.0 version of the boot camp.
2.0 sounds flashy.
I ran one with my pops. I've run like different versions kind of too before, but we did one whenever the quarantine started. Once that hit, so it was like a 14-day boot camp, but just some body weight stuff, and we just went into some body weight exercises. Nothing crazy. My pops owns a gym, and so his members couldn't get access to workouts.
Okay.
Because of quarantine, and we just teamed up, put together a little online training for them to help them get their workouts, stay in shape, feel confident, keep things going, keep their momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that momentum. We did that, and that was a good time. And then I just kind of like added on to it, and then made the program longer. So,
okay,
adding more things. Like I'm adding mindset work into this, like how to set goals, really set crystal clear targets. So there's no confusion. So that, and while your targets can adjust, you don't want to switch it up too much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not too much. And how to focus, things to help you, and stuff to help you focus a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot more. Actually, a lot of times it's a lot more.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I haven't done anything like done this, So it's, sometimes it can be a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But, so adding mindset stuff in there. And then whenever I work with the men specifically, if they want to learn it and they choose to learn it, then how to retain their shit. That semen retention.
Ah.
Yes, sir.
Got you.
That good stuff. How to get that D control, if you know what I mean.
Because
a lot of dudes, like, it's like, think about it. Like, body weight, learning how to use your body, all that kind of stuff, body control. Let me learn how to do push-ups. Let me learn how to do squats. Let me learn how to do crunches, but like they don't know how to do anything with their penis. It's like they just like leave that area out. Like a movement coach, for example. It's like, I'm gonna help you move your head, I'm gonna help you move your shoulders, your abs, your glutes, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet. But they just like this little square right here. They just like pass that motherfucker up. It's like,
you are.
So like if you want to learn like how to just like move that a little bit better, flow with that a little bit better, we'll go over that too.
I mean, in the grand scheme of everything, it's just anatomy, and you just want your body to perform at its highest peak in whatever you're doing.
People even help you with your brain.
What was that?
The people even help you with your brain. You know what I'm saying? But we just like, everybody doesn't even offer it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that do.
I mean, yeah, I will say that you're about the only person when you started doing, the semen retention thing.
I was like doing posts about it.
Yeah, you was doing posts about it and everything.
Like detailed.
Very detailed. I understood, or I learned what that was through your post, but everything that you were saying made sense to an extent,
Yeah. What do you feel like didn't make sense?
I mean, I don't know. It
That's right.
it was
forever
it
ago.
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like, just the clear-mindedness of it and everything, definitely resonated with me.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know?
Yeah.
So with that program, how is that going?
It's good, man. I mean, like I said, the first version we ran went really well. Had a really good time. Got really good feedback. Positive feedback. Testimonials. And then this 2.0 version, I got one dude in there right now. One dude's on a waiting list. Couple people who are interested.
Dang, my man's got a waiting list.
I mean, it's not like that. No. It's like he's trying to make sure he can fit it in.
Oh, okay.
But usually I take those as like no's. But, and then I'm applying some of this stuff with my dancers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Minus the retention stuff. But
yeah, because you teach dance too.
Yeah, work whenever it comes to like helping the younger ones. I like to just help them dance and connect to their body like with that way, and build that confidence. But yeah, man, as far as like my brother who's in, not my brother, but the guy who's in it, he's having a good time. We had a session. He learned. We got a lot out of that session. And then yeah, man. I'm just he like I walked into that boy, he couldn't move, like his back was tweaked, and he had a sad look on his face because he was hurting. And this dude likes to move. He's a strong dude, athletic, and we just did some simple stuff, man. And by the end of the session, he was able to move his back pretty well. I mean, he like injured his back. We didn't do anything crazy. Did simple stuff.
Yeah,
breathing exercises and just some small movement stuff. And by the end of it, man, he was bouncing around, had a smile on his face, super excited about it. So I'm excited to get into like the nitty gritty stuff, the exercise, like the more intermediate, advanced stuff with him in the future.
For it to work, at least in that moment, in that session so well, for him to have a great, jump, to be able to at least move with a hurt back, what does that mean to you?
Dude, it meant a lot, man. It was cool because growing up, I have a lot of family members who like had back issues. Like I have an aunt who had to like get surgery on her back, and I remember as a kid, like that was such a big deal to me. Somebody got surgery on their back, and then a lot of the adults in my family have like they say their back is messed up and all that fun stuff, and so to just have like stuff, to have exercises and material for people to help them through that type of stuff, through that type of, I mean, go to your back specialist first, go to your, if you absolutely can't move, go to your physical therapist, get them checked out, all that fun stuff. But to have stuff that can like help them do that. And I mean, at the same time, my dude was doing the stretches that like his physical therapist was telling him to do.
Yeah.
And maybe that kept him from like his back completely falling apart. That's cool too. But whenever we worked together, he felt really good.
And that, I mean,
he was
that's
like, holy shit. He's like, how did you learn this stuff? Where'd you know? And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. It's just like, because I didn't invent all these principles. It's people who shared information. It's through studying from other people who put in a lot of work to learn what they learned. And then I just put it together and made it my own and helped the people that I resonate with.
Absolutely. I mean,
and
that's one of
the people that resonate with what I'm saying.
And that's one of the main reasons that you're even on here in the first place, is to share that information. You have a boatload of information on countless topics, and we have, great discussions every time that we hang out.
Yeah, we do. It's a good time.
It is a huge, great time. But I mean, that's really all it is about, just taking things that you learn, because, I mean, we're not born with the knowledge. We learn it from other people or other books or something like that. Like, there's countless things that you have taught me. I've learned, just about the body or movement or anything, from you. It's just what us humans do.
Yeah, same.
So to compile that from other people and, make a twist on it on your own to better somebody's life, whether it be your own or other people as well,
right.
That's really the point.
Yeah, right. Just serve others, help others. It's interesting, man. I never I 1,000,000% don't mind doing this business stuff because there was never a point in my life that growing up, I never really wanted to do business. The only reason I got into business is because I realized like how you can use it to help people.
Absolutely.
And yes, you gotta like take care of yourself financially, but you taking care of yourself financially, whenever you get to that point in your business career, is good for your family and your community. Like the world doesn't need you to continue, or you being broke all the time, your whole entire life. Obviously, you got seasons. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be points in your life where you're not going to get it. As long as you're working towards what you're working towards, that's the most important part. If you haven't manifested it yet, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But ideally, you being broke your whole entire life till you die isn't good for you or your family or your community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so just financially taking care of yourself and your family. But then as far as just like starting a business and creating stuff to where you can help people do that, and you can help people solve some type of problem or get some type of benefit that they're trying to get. I didn't even like get into that until I realized that I could use that to help people. You know what I'm saying? This journey started with like me wanting to get healthy myself, and then I wanted to get healthy so I could just inspire other people to get healthier or make other people think about getting healthier.
Absolutely.
And then it turned into, learning about then I started learning that, other people were using their money to do these things, or this is what a business does, or this is what creating some type of coaching business, whether that be big or small, how this helps others. And then I was like, oh shit, like you can create these things to like help other people. That sounds like and this is why it's better to do this if you can versus not do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know that you could do that. That sounds like a good idea. It wasn't like, let me figure out how the fuck I can make some money.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that's a bad idea, because there's people who've like started a business to figure out how to get themselves out of a financially fucked situation.
Yeah.
And then they want to help others do that. That's cool too. I'm not saying that's the wrong way. I'm just saying that's not the route that I came to. They're like, oh, I need money. I need to start a business. I was just like, I want to help people. Oh, I can help people by starting a business. Whatever it becomes is what it becomes. But
do you guys see why we're friends? Like, this is 100% why we're friends, and close friends at that. I mean, that's just your mindset. Mm-hmm. And you've helped me in different ways just with that mindset alone. With doing the podcast, doing this, that's the whole point of it, is like, for this to become a business, that would be awesome. Mm-hmm. But it's mostly to get the information out of whoever I'm speaking to at that moment. Mm-hmm. With you right now, it's, talking about making whatever you're enjoying doing. I guess that's the right terminology. Mm-hmm. And making a business out of it, but to help other people.
Right.
Like, that's the main reason I even wanted to start doing this, was to connect to the people that are listening, to make them not only learn things, but also make them feel like they're not the only people that, are having these problems, or, they're going through these hardships, or, just like wanting to do better, something of the sort.
Right.
And I mean, that's why I post a lot of my workout videos, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
bro, you make me not want to slack.
Bro, and it's...
Bro, you had me over here thinking, I'm like, dude, I might not eat bread anymore.
Bro, and it's... And I'm not gonna lie, I don't not eat bread right now.
Just not as much.
Yeah, just not as much, bro. Like,
okay,
I used to eat fast food and burgers, and don't get me wrong, a burger sounds fucking great right now.
You, dog, yeah.
But, I was watching... I think it was a video. I want to say it was Joe Rogan. But they were talking about the choice of making mouth pleasures or health conscious. Your mouth pleasure is, I'm going to go get that fucking burger. Yeah, like, I'm going to go throw some A1 on it. I'm going to get tomato. I might even get a double, and, you know, the healthy conscious is, you know, I can go get me a grilled chicken wrap. You know, I can throw some lettuce on there. I might be able to get a light honey mustard. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be equally delicious. I love a chicken wrap.
Yeah, bro. It's actually, it grows on you. Wow.
I love grilled chicken.
Yeah, bro.
I love it. But, you know, that's the whole reason I even started doing the workout videos, because if I can get in there, and I think I've even said this on this podcast, and if I have, I apologize for, you know, saying the same thing twice. But that's just how I feel. Like, if I can get in there and do the work, then so can you. If my scrawny ass can get in the gym and put on muscle, you know, just from, you know, going in there a couple times a week, then you can get in there too. And maybe, just maybe, if you could see the videos of me working out and see the progress that I have made, maybe that can make one person go work out and start consistently working out. Or it doesn't even have to be working out. You know, just taking that motivation and dedication into whatever it is. You know, shout out to my homeboy Bruce and Dre, but, you know, the motto, man, can't stop pursuing.
Yes.
Bro, and I mean, I take that.
Wristband over there.
I keep 2 of them on my wrist nonstop. And I mean, that's just the motto.
My books.
The motto that I live by. Like, if I want to go do something, then I'm going to go do it. And maybe if you see that I went and did it and that I had some sort of success or progress even, then maybe, just maybe, you can go after what you want to do.
Yep, and it happens. And the crazy thing about all this, especially whenever it comes to posting, you have no idea who's seeing your shit, but they're just not. Like, I'll tell you this, like, the majority of people who have, like, ever hired me for coaching have never liked one of my videos, commented on one of my videos or my posts, or shared any of my videos or my posts.
That's interesting.
I'm telling you, it's a fucking fact. Like, 80 to 90% of those people who have hired me for anything, who have reached out to me to, like, give me money to help them, have never shared my stuff, liked my stuff, or left a fucking comment. And most of them haven't even really messaged me before. And I had no idea they were watching my shit.
Yeah, like you had no idea they were even paying attention.
And they're like, hey, I've been watching your stuff for the past, like, year or past couple months. Or somebody mentioned you a month ago, and I saw you, and I scrolled through your Facebook page, and this is what I need help with. You have no idea who's listening to your stuff, man.
You really don't.
That's the most beautiful thing about all this. That's literally the most fun thing. You know, we're not, like, out here getting, like, thousands of views on our content. The most fun thing about this stuff is the people you're reaching out to, who are listening to your stuff, who aren't talking to you, who aren't communicating with, and you have no idea who they are. But there's people out there who are. And there might be a lot of them.
And I will say, I mean, you know me, I've done a lot of different avenues of different content. But I will say we're not out here, like, my book, I sold over 100 copies in 2 years, which is a great number, you know, but it's not a huge number. Don't get it twisted. I love that it could be way worse, but it's more of the quality than it is the quantity. Yeah. You know, if you know, I wrote a poem, and if it touched one person that day, to me, that's all that fucking matters. Because I read a piece of literature one day that touched me, and it made me feel, and it made me want to write at some point.
Right.
You know, I don't care if my stuff gets read by 20 people or 20,000 people. You know, as long as it's reaching the same amount of people.
Yeah, that's the most important part, man. That's the most important part. Just who you're helping, how you're helping them, and helping them what, you know, how. And yeah, and I say that because, like, people, you know, we can get caught up in the likes. And don't get me wrong, like, I'd be lying if I sat here and said, like, that wouldn't be cool to have, you know, like, 1 million followers on my social platforms or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't. I do think that. I do think maybe that would not be fun at this point in my life for whatever fucking
But you're
reason I
also
don't
kind of
understand.
an anti-social media person for the most part anyway.
Sometimes, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with it. And, yeah, we get caught up in that. But I say that, because you have no idea. There's people watching you who aren't liking your shit. So, you might not be getting any likes, but people are seeing.
They really are. I've had
some people.
Yeah, I've had countless times of, whether it be people talking about my book or people talking about me working out or the podcast, I've had countless people come up to me like, hey, you're doing this. I'm like, you didn't like that post?
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
You're paying attention. So it's even if, I'm not getting as many likes or comments or shares I like, you're still seeing it.
Yeah, there's people out there who are, and you have no idea who they are.
It's one of the best feelings in the world, man. Like just having somebody come up and ask you about a project that you're working on or something that you're doing, and that you never even knew.
Right.
I love it.
It's a cool experience.
It really is. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Because to put all that time and effort into something and to at least know that some people are paying attention more than the people that you already know are paying attention.
At least one, like you said. At least one.
Yeah. Like you have your people that are supporting you already.
Yeah.
But just like to have that new person.
Yeah.
And not even new, but just to know that they're paying attention without even reacting is a really nice feeling.
Yeah. It's relieving, actually.
I think
like 100% not have to get caught up in. Because I even think about it. Like all the people who I'm like following their stuff on Instagram and liking their stuff, have I bought their stuff?
Have you?
Not much. Now that I think about it, there's not a much. There's a couple programs that I bought, but now that I think about it, I don't know if I ever liked and commented on their shit though. You know what I'm saying? Like now that I think about it, I wasn't like I haven't been like a like their pictures. I don't really comment on their shit now. Oh dang. So I've like there's people that I've been following, like I've been talking about, but I just haven't like liked their stuff and responded.
Oh, the turns have tabled.
No, yeah. Wow, that's mind blowing to me, dude.
If there was one last thing that you could have all the listeners take away from this episode, or just one or two things, because I know how you are. You don't like to go with one thing.
Yeah, like the most.
Yeah. What are like one or two things that you'd want them to take away from this?
Man, yeah. Right now, my guess or my intuition is saying, don't overthink too much.
You posted something on social media today, and I actually meant to talk about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just
just try not to less overthinking. I'm not saying never take time for the mind and to think, but man, getting too caught up in your head, allowing yourself to just move and talk and speak, because I know we're afraid to get criticized. We can be afraid to get criticized. We can be afraid to get canceled, because I know that's a big thing right now. The threat of getting canceled, or for whatever reason, getting misinterpreted, losing out on a friend, losing out on a like or a comment. You know what I'm saying? But trying not to overthink. And I, as a person who was like more socially anxious, like introvert, I realized I overthought a lot. And as a person who created a lot of content, I feel like I overthought I would overthink my posts. Not saying I'd always spend like 2 hours on a post, but it's just like I feel like I'd overthink it, and I'd overthink whenever I want to talk to somebody or whatever. And I would just like to encourage people to stop overthinking as much, want to plan everything. Although I do like tracking a lot of things.
I was getting ready to actually say that.
Yeah. And taking time to do it, but not overthinking, trusting just what the fuck happens. And whether you got trust in yourself or you got trust in God, all right? And if you can't trust yourself, like sometimes if you're like, man, this is what I need to do, this is what's flowing from me, this is what I need to say, this is how I need to move. Like if you're dancing and you're freestyling and you can't overthink that, this feels weird, or it's gonna look weird, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Maybe you can't trust yourself, but you just gotta trust like God, the universe, and the process.
Whatever it is that you...
Whatever the fuck it is, and just allow yourself to be and allow yourself to exist with good intent, whatever, I'll say at least make a positive intention. If there's one thing that you can do, make sure the intention is good. All right, make sure the intention is positive, and then just go out and flow with life.
Okay.
Until you need to reset an intention.
Okay,
You know?
so what I think about, and this may be completely what you're not talking about, but what comes to my mind is kind of a flow state.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Flow state. Yeah. And doing that and not worrying about whatever, because a lot of times, some people, and I've been this way, like you overthink because you want to people please. It's getting into that flow state. And because you ain't going to make everybody happy. And an authentic and a non-authentic you is going to make you it's going to give you too much anxiety. Not too much, maybe. It's just going to give you more. And it's going to slow you down. And you can overthink and spend all the energy on thinking, but then you just produce something where you were just like overthinking it, man.
Now, there was a book that
versus flowing.
I have been casually reading. It's, I think it's Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Is that the book that I got from you?
Dang, yeah, I think you did get it.
I think it is. I think it's a book I got from you. It was talking about, and it was more so about the ego, because it's talking about Buddhism, So it was talking about when you have those thoughts, you're sitting there. You can either A, listen to them and let it just consume you. And that's the wrong route, or you could listen to them and just see where it takes you. Don't let it affect you, but just see where it takes you.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling this way? And so when you are overthinking or having those, I guess you could say, doubts of whatever it is you're doing, let them keep running, but don't feel that feeling. Don't let it consume you.
Yes. Like they're clouds.
Yeah.
There's a meditation app I used to use to help me get into meditation called Headspace. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I have heard of Headspace,
actually. It was like one
actually.
of the first meditation, or one of the first big ones, I should say.
I've actually looked into Headspace.
Yeah. And they talked about that. Just think about your thoughts like they're clouds, and your consciousness or whatever. Like you're just looking up at the clouds and you're watching the clouds get pass by, You're not going to go up there and grab the clouds and mix them up and add them into your life and get caught up in them. You're just going to let them pass by.
Yeah. And I've had a few meditation breakthroughs, but not many. I will say that. And it's hard, to be able to sit there and just kind of taking the analogy you're saying, just look at the clouds and just, let them pass by and just kind of watch them. If you're in that meditative sit down or stance or whatever. But if you're not used to being in that mindset, the amount of clouds can overwhelm you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. 1 million, bajillion, trillion %.
Because if you think of all the jumbled thoughts or just the random thoughts that go through your head during the day, think about that when you're sitting in a silent aspect, You're just, things are firing from the left, the right, the front, the back, and it's, for me at least, in a meditation stance, it's hard for me to sit there and take all of that in. And that's kind of my problem that I've had with meditation.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It can be. And it's hard to differentiate, man. It's hard to differentiate, but bringing it back to what we said earlier, as far as the movement and working out, the benefits of that, beyond aesthetics, it's like the mindset. You just learn a little bit more about your mind and how it works.
Yeah.
Whenever you go and work out and you don't want to work out, and your mind's like, I don't need to work out. Those are those thoughts and those clouds. But whenever you show up, it's like you let those clouds go by, but you didn't get caught up in them.
We actually just had a conversation about this the other day. Or I think you had posted something about it, and I said that me and a homie at the gym had this conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not getting caught up in the thoughts. And same thing, And just so whenever you go to and you learn that whenever you go to the gym. A lot of times that's the first place, or working out, that's the first time people learn how to differentiate those two. Because if you ain't getting up and working out and working on your health, there's a good chance you're caught up in your thoughts.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing that, you're probably caught up in your thoughts. And so, whenever you can show up and work out, because there's days where we don't want to work out.
Oh,
Where
absolutely.
there's days where we don't want to show up, and our mind's like, dude, you don't really have to show up, man. You don't really have to do it like this. You don't have to go like, you could do this little small thing or whatever. You could just take a rest day because
You probably need a break.
yeah, you need a break because of this. And imagine what could happen if you work out and you just overwork yourself or something, and then you're tired before you go to this or whatever. But you just like those are those thoughts, man, just flowing through the fucking above your head. Those are those clouds. But you're just like, fuck. Let me get in my car. Let me just let these thoughts run through my mind while I get in my car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you get to the gym and those thoughts kind of start to go away by that point. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, and just think of if it's fucking raining on the way too, you're like, fuck.
bro, yeah, the rain can make everything way harder, and the winter can make it harder.
I'm pretty sure last time we were supposed to hang out, it started pissing and pouring, and I was like, bro,
Yeah, you wanted to protect your hair.
I did want to protect my hair. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't make fun of you because I used to do that shit too.
Man, you know, I wear a shower cap now when I take a shower because I don't want it to
fuck.
get messed up. I know. I wear a wave cap too when I go to sleep. Keep them braids tight. So one thing that you want the people to take from this is not to overthink.
Yeah, child. Yeah. Don't overthink. Do what you need to do. Learn. So whenever you do think, you probably think better. Yeah, that's what I would say right now. And then you know, obviously take away everything we took from the podcast. Mm-hmm. All the topics we talked about. Apply it. However you want to apply it. But yeah, if there was like one thing on the top of my head right now, at this point in my life, be don't overthink.
All right, well, there you have it. All folks in dimensions and universes listening out in the multiverse. Don't overthink. Keep your headspace clear.
As possible.
Just, yeah,
Yeah.
that's really about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Steffan, man, I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you
It's a
for
good time.
sharing this insight with all the people that are going to be listening to this.
Yeah. It's a real good time.
Definitely going to have to bring you back in the coming, I don't know what you would call.
Oh, yeah. I demand to be a regular.
Oh, he said, I demand it.
I demand.
I guess
A
we can
regular
get.
guest
I guess we
spot
can get some
on this
something
podcast.
worked out. Let me. Hey, can we get Steffan penciled in for sometime? I actually don't have an assistant. All right. Well, thanks again, Steffan. I appreciate it, my man.
I appreciate you, Blake.
All right. Thanks, guys.